Welcome to the Preventive Medicine Podcast. Help us change the paradigm of medicine from keep people alive to help people thrive, one episode at a time. And now, here's the show. I like how you mentioned WebMD. I was just going to ask as a follow-up question to that. You also mentioned it earlier, as well as like the Nat Geo. I think you mentioned the competitor for what they were doing.
To Discovery,
Yeah.
Real competitor.
What do you think the role is of these large media corporations in preventive medicine? Like, obviously, we see that people watch them and they might have a large swing, feel to it for whoever's watching it. But do you think there's another role for it? How do they fit in?
Yeah, on WebMD, people don't search preventive medicine or in Google. That's not what they type in. But they type in exercise, types of exercises. They type lots of information on diet. Diet and fitness is a huge content area on WebMD because people come to that. Pregnancy is another area as well. That's what people want to learn about. The challenge sometimes in social media and Google searches, those voices that are the most provocative often get the most traffic. And the reason why that was in optimizing search, if I say something crazy about nutrition, some folks are going to believe it and, comment. But even if I get a lot of negative comments, that's going to raise me up in search because I'm going to have a higher level of engagement. And on coronavirus, there's been strategies to then minimize those voices, even if they're high in search based on levels of engagement, the wrong information. But how do we get good content to folks and help them understand that? So I'll be honest, it is a challenge. Everybody wants to lose 20 pounds in 20 days. Let's be honest, that's what you're going to click on for most people rather than to say, here's how to eat a Mediterranean diet, for which we know there's lots of good data. So it's really about using effective communication strategies and tools. I learned this at Discovery Channel. It's the same thing for WebMD. Headlines matter. You want to be truthful, but you want to get people to click on it. You can have the best content out there, gentlemen. It's not hard to put content on a site. It's hard to get people to consume that information.
I realized that.
Yeah. And physicians, what I've learned, they want to put so much on there because they think I'm going to build this site and people are going to come. And guess what? They're not. They're going to click after, 30 seconds. It's, their videos are 12 minutes. That's just not going to work in this environment. You need to know your audience. And you know what? If I taught them one thing about diabetes, that's better than zero. The problem is you can't go in and try to think, they're going to watch this and they're going to learn 5 things or read this, multi-page document online. Most people are mobile. It's not going to happen. So it's about giving them, in a sense, snackable tips. And how do we do that? And then get them to come back and engage. And that's what I think, we're trying to do more and more of.
I think it's funny that you mentioned the putting out so much into written content or video so much and not getting that much engagement, because one of the things that I worked on, I think 2 years ago, was kind of I wrote an ebook that's 112 pages about how I kind of got in shape and then everything that I read along the way. Because when I was getting in shape, I started off like really fat. And then I got relatively in shape. So I did a lot of research during that time. And I kind of just put all my findings to that ebook and titled it Healthy Forever. And you think that would get some clicks, but honestly, there's like a lot of citations, a lot of pages, and it is what it is. But
I'm not sure I like the title, to be honest.
Yeah.
A good editor is always a good idea. Let me just say that.
For sure.
We have a lot of editors at WebMD. But I love the fact that, you put it out there. You tried, you learned. It's iterative. And you know what? By your third or fourth one, it's going to be really good. And that's the point. You can't think that, coming out of the gate, everyone's going to, hit a home run, because it doesn't happen. But you learn, and then you continue to progress. Because really the key is to know your audience. Who's your audience? How do they consume information? What's going to appeal to them? And that's really the strategies. There's one thing I learned at Discovery Channel is, and people always thought the entertainment world is, that's not scientific, that's not academic. And in many ways, I thought it was public health messaging on the shows that I did. You need to know your audience. Lots of good data. So I know that TLC primarily skews towards women. Discovery Channel skews towards men. Animal Planet skews towards family. That's how you program. And when people would come in with show ideas and you'd say, well, what network should it be on? And they say it could be on any network. You think, okay, we're done, because you don't know our brand. And that's what we need to think about. So, I'd say, who's your audience? Who are you appealing to? How are you marketing it? There's a strategy to health communication, and physicians and other professionals in health aren't necessarily good at that. It's a different skill set. They just think, I'm going to write something and people are going to want to read it because I'm a doctor or I'm into health. Well, that's not the case.
So with kind of that idea of not necessarily the best information taking the forefront on media and now social media being so important, how do you suggest that physicians and other people who would like to be more active in the media or social media realm combat the large quantities of misinformation that are out there and getting tons of clicks every single day?
Yeah. And it's very competitive out there right now. There is a lot of folks on social media putting out some very good information, some not so good information. What I always advise people, again, it goes back to knowing your audience. Say on Twitter, it depends, what's in your little description of who you are. It's really about consistently putting out good content. That doesn't mean putting out 20 pieces of good content a day. It's usually a couple of pieces of good content every day, but being consistent about it. And that's what's a challenge for many people. They do it for a couple of days and they get busy and then they stop. And then you don't hear from them for a week or two. So you want to build your audience. But I always tell people, whatever the platform is, you follow other people that you admire and you look at what they're posting. And sometimes you retweet it or you comment or you look who their followers are. And you say, well, I want, followers like that. So it does take, some strategies. But the most important part out there is just being consistent and getting good, credible content out there. And you need to take time to build it. It does take time nowadays.
Preventive medicine is an incredibly important topic. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. For the full episode, find us on your favorite podcast streaming platform. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it to keep that message spreading. Thank you once again for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.